Yo, welcome to the RASQACHE Art comic book movie reviews. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. I had to jump back in the mix because Hush just came out. And Hush is probably the comic book that got me back into comic books. So I had to check out the movie. I quite enjoyed it. I'll give my thoughts on it. But first, when I see a movie or get to the end of a TV series, the first thing I want to do is either talk to my buddies or my brother or cousin or someone who's around, or I want to click on the movie reviews online and see what the pundits have to say, because sometimes you're just by yourself and you just want to hear what the internet has to say. So I went online, I'm looking for some reviews, and I didn't really see much that spoke to me, so I thought, I should jump back in and make something that speaks to me, and maybe that'll speak to someone else. Fill that void up, you know what I'm saying? So, what do I think on such an important event in Batman to me? I think they did a pretty good job. I liked some of the switcheroonies they made. Bane, for instance, was fun. We got to see him. They previously had Killer Croc on some type of venom or, steroid, a PED, performance enhancing drug, if you will, in the Son of Batman movie. So it was cool that, we saw Bane on some type of extra venom thing, because that would have been repetitive. I like that switch. And then also, of course, the big switch at the end, the Thomas Elliot not being Hush, him actually getting killed. And spoiler alert, it's the Riddler. Holla. Boom, it's the Riddler. And that was sort of expected, because I'd read the book, and they do the same setup where you think he's just like some C-lister, but it turns out he's actually pulling the strings and he's got more going on than you think. So I was able to guess that the switch was going to be the Riddler, but you never know until the reveal happens, and you don't know until you know. So it was a good call. Not that far out of left field, but it was a good switch, for those of us who read the book, to give us something new. And it was all kind of part of this effort to tie things in and make it more concise, because it's a long run of the books, and these movies are only like an hour and 15 minutes. So they gotta cut some things out. They gotta make it fit to the format of the straight to DVD cartoon movie thing. New 52 context and stylization. They're trying to weave this thing in and not necessarily make it a direct adaptation, so they should have all the creative liberty that they need to get this thing done. That said, let's get to the meat of the course. With this conciseness, what are they going to do? They're going to follow the hero around. What's Batman up to? They're not really going to give us much of, Hush and what Hush is doing, what his motivations are. So, you get the mystique, but you don't quite get the same build-up from the comics. And what we mostly get is Batman and Catwoman exploring their forbidden love. And I liked the new take on it, as far as her, being willing to grow and willing to change and willing to adapt, so long as he's willing to do the same and come along for the ride. And she gets caught up on him being stuck to the code and not willing to make changes on the fly, not willing to budge. He's willing to die and screw up what they have just to live by his code, whereas she wants them to be able to do what's necessary to survive and, I guess, stay together. And the one thing that, really tripped me up, because there's two moments that kind of sets up her perspective and how she feels. One is her tossing Lois Lane off the roof, knowing that Superman would snap out of it and, go save Lois. and saying, well, he was gonna crush you, so I had to do something. I did what worked, and he didn't crush you, so I get to keep my Batman around. So that was her taking a stance on saying, you know what, I'm your partner, I get to make my own decisions, and what I did saved you, and it was the right play, so don't be such a grumpy butt. And then the second way that the second stepping stone before the end scene is the worst. This is really what I wanted to talk about. They took Catwoman, who is like this feminist icon. You go down the list, anyone who has a top 20, any IGN, Collider, anyone with the top 20, NerdSync, whatever you want, top 20 Batman villains, DC villains, female characters in comic books, female villains, any list, Catwoman is somewhere on that list, probably in the top 10. So for them to take this independent character who stands on their own and to kind of drag her down to this like needy girlfriend who needs Batman to go on the hiking trip or whatever, rock climbing adventure, some basic bitch shit, you know what I'm saying? They like demoted a hero in their own right down to just Batman's little side piece, and that was just so annoying that she was like, come on please, I'll let you pay, come on please go, like it was hard. It like made it hard to enjoy the rest of the movie. There was still good stuff. I liked the action, I liked seeing all the characters, but man, that scene, it was just like it was like the why did you say that name? What they should have had was her saying hush, and then him saying, why did you say that name? That would have been like not as bad as what they did to Catwoman. But I did like, her final word on the thing saying, like, as far as you're not willing to grow, and you're alluding that maybe I wasn't complete before, but if you're compulsively unwilling to change, maybe you're the one who needs some growing. So she super dunked on him. So I like the way they made her legit at the end, but just that one scene was just so off character, so off brand for Catwoman, that oh man, it just bothered me so much. She's such a favorite character of mine, and to see these writers do her like that, it was just dirty, man. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. It was just that one rough speed bump, but yeah, I like the way they used Damian real quick. He's growing up a little bit. The way they use Nightwing in continuity with the New 52 stuff that they've been doing, but also much like his role in the original book, but kind of switched around a little bit. So I like the changes. It kind of blend in smoothly. The way they used Batgirl instead of Huntress and Oracle. I like the way they fit it into the New 52 stuff that they've been doing, while also being true to the book, not necessarily copying, pasting, but taking the spirit of it, more or less. The Harley Quinn sequence with Joker in the back alley, that was so true to the story, but also like little changes here and there. Very well done. So yeah, that's it. I'm gonna get out of here. Like and subscribe. Maybe I'll do some more of these if another hot one comes out. I was gonna do Death of Superman, but just kind of passed up on it. Maybe I was busy with other things. I don't know. I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, I got animations. I got doing some edits on action fight scenes, making them all goofy and RASQACHE out. So yeah, check it out. And I'll be back later. Peace.